Let's discuss mindful spaces. Mindful spaces take place Monday through Thursday in the contemplative space in the law school library. The time is chosen in a very deliberate, purposeful way at 1:30 to 1:45. Why at that time? Well, it's during the lunch hour, so there's no classes generally scheduled, so you're likely to have that time available to you if you're on campus. And whether you're in between classes or in between whatever it is that you're doing during the day on campus, it creates an opportunity to pivot, to shift gears from the busyness, the excitement of the day, one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, to create a little space, an opportunity to practice mindfulness, to work on strengthening attention, focusing attention, noticing mind wandering, and just being present for our experience as it is. Ultimately, that cultivation of greater present moment awareness is an opportunity to step outside of the largely doing way of being in relationship to our day, to being a little bit more present in the midst of the doing. And many find that after the 12-minute practice, getting back to whatever it is that they were doing before or are on the verge of doing is done with a little bit more of a refreshedness, a little bit more of a capacity to engage in it in a more, in a way that feels more useful, more effective. And now, why do we do this as part of the class as well as an offering for everybody in the school? It's because many people who come to appreciate what it is to be a little bit more mindfully aware and the value of strengthening mindfulness through mindfulness practices may have a period of time in the morning, say, or in the evening where they do their daily practice, or it can be challenging to get it into the day because at the start things take off a little faster than one expected, or one slept later than they had intended, or the evening turns out to be one thing after the other and maybe one is too tired to practice. So whether it is that one has a reliable daily practice or whether one doesn't and it can be a little bit more hit and miss, many people would say, and many judges and lawyers practicing say, it's very valuable to be able to pivot and shift gears in the middle of the day to allocate time for practice. But knowing that, and even having the time available to you, doesn't mean that we will avail ourselves of it, that we will take advantage of it, because so often the busyness that is leading up to that time in the day is sort of propelling us to not feel that we have the time or to have a sense of urgency in what we're doing, or just not having the capacity in some way to shift gears. And yet, the experience of many is that after having shifted gears, getting back proves to be not only a much more fruitful endeavor, but also the 12 minutes is not even recognized as having been missed. In fact, it might have proven to be an accelerant for the productivity of what follows. So we have mindful spaces each day so that you're able to, over the course of a semester, by dropping into a mindful space at least once a week, or maybe if a week is tricky, once every other week, to get in enough practice, not with the mindfulness practice of that day, but rather practice shifting gears in the middle of the day and having that become more of a routine so that when we're now out practicing law or engaged in the work that we're doing, we already have within us the seeds that have been nurtured to be able to not only know that that's available to us, but also to more fully appreciate the advantages of doing it and having had practice making that shift. So, the mindful spaces are here for you to avail yourselves of so you can support each other in your practice so that you can get in a daily practice And also, and most importantly, which is why, again, it's in the middle of the day, scheduled for when it is, so that over the course of time, we can become more comfortable, and it can feel more natural to make that simple pivot for a very short period of time that can have a very large return on investment. I hope this is helpful.